Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael J. Taylor, and this is for my CST-100 public speaking class. My instructor's name is Miss Deborah Moran, and today's date, of course, is October the 2nd, 2011. And my SP is to inform my audience about how important it is to access, organize, and safely store all family valuables and personal information. Well, it is imperative that we understand in times of stressful situations the possibilities of damage to our valuables, be them personal information and or monetary sentimentals, is quite extensive. It is highly recommended that citizens locate, update, document, and store these items so that they may be accessed quickly and carried away with us in unforeseen times of uncontrollable disasters caused by conflict, fire, flood, or inclement weather. Today, I will briefly go over some of our most important and necessary information and assets and explain why you, um, as well as others that I have found inside my research, deem it necessary to cluster pack these interests and have them on hand, organized, and at the ready. Also, we must address the most common tangible information sources as well as the interests that are more often overlooked in times of distress because of their unappealing relevance to our everyday lives. Now that we can clearly understand the purpose of this speech, let me start by saying it's necessary to have pertinent information and documentation located in a central area that is beneficiary, well protected, and ready for transport at a moment's notice. First, let's take a look at situations considering bereavement. Now, we know that the loss of life requires information regarding a person's health, their insurance policies, their wishes in death, their estate management, and all of that should be able to be found in a living will or personal affidavit documentation. This interest is important and it should be included in storage simply in case of its need for instruction concerning personal preferences and or factual direction dispersing personal property and assets if necessary. Um, that is a very important fact that anybody that has a living will should have that information included uh, within their savings. Okay, and that's we're talking about documentation savings and not monetary savings. Secondly, let us address the validity of educational information. This information carries a loss of importance simply because this category is past or present. See, in most cases, education has been previously received and accepted or is currently being analyzed and attempted. And but it's highly recommended by the Life Hackers blog. That's one of my resources. That families locate, organize, and store all class registrations, diplomas, degrees, and certifications because they could be a valuable asset in aftermath progression regarding employment and educational endeavors. It's okay that you know what you know, but it's only relevant when someone else knows that you know it. So therefore, saving your information and storing your information as far as the education and background is concerned in your endeavors is definitely a positive. Now let's move forward to an interest that most of us have dealt with repetitively and understand its necessity as an asset to who you are, what you are, and where you come from. See, this interest is personal information such as your licenses, your birth certificate, social security card, organizational certifications, and of course your military, federal, state, and municipal governmental records. It's imperative that any material acquired in these areas be located and stored to be used if necessary by government agencies, as a confirmation of self-identification, participation and possibly program completion. There are many times when facilities and or records management pertaining this valuable information could be totally destroyed or temporarily inaccessible. The key to being able to move forward under these circumstances is in having the ability to be positively identifiable and recognizable. Sometimes progress and placement lies within the burden of proof, especially when you're dealing with the public sector, state or local federal government. So now that we understand what information is important to store, let us discuss how it should be stored. Because contrary to popular belief, it's not uncanny to use actual original papers and their copies for information storage. But if you think about it reasonably, paper storage could become quite an overwhelming task when time and necessity and safety are your top priorities in stressful situations. Therefore, the use of digital media is highly recommendable because it's cheaper, it's lighter, and of course, it's less volatile. But when, like, if you're using an actual comparison, one could store a complete set of encyclopedias from municipal, state, federal, and constitutional law. You could add a world book in there. Hell, Time Life's annual pictures and review for 10 years, and probably every essay that you've ever written, a couple of your favorite songs, a couple of classic movies, and a few memorable pictures. You can do all that on one DVD or a high gigabyte flash drive. So basically, I guess the question is who would question the capability of handling personal information files, as a safe and reliable storage media. So it probably would be best to use your DVD because it holds more information, and then to use a flash drive. Because if you drop a flash drive in water, it's gone. You can't use it anymore. But a DVD, you pick it up and you wipe it off, even if it's scratched up a little bit. You could run it on a de-scratching machine, a little thing. It costs about $20, $25, or just wipe it off and make sure that it's dry and put it in a DVD player, and it'll give you the information. Okay. So in conclusion, it's best to locate your documents, scan them as PDF files, and those can't be monitored or adjusted without your permission. Store the information on a regular plus or minus digital video disk that complement your community, your computer system. Because some of them take plus R, some of them take minus R, some of them do both. I'm quite sure you've burned DVDs on your system before. Of course, you have to have good burning software. You can use Nero. You can use Golden Disk. You can use a whole bunch of things. You can use Roxio. There's many programs out there that'll do the job for you. And what you need to do after you burn it, and run off multiple copies of that same DVD and give them to people in your family so that they can store them with their personal stuff. But it's always accessible. And then you take the digital information and your monetary valuables, such as precious metals or jewelry or currency, and put them inside a quality safe that can be purchased at any Walmart or store of the like. Mm. See, there are many different kind of safes um, that are in construction. Therefore, it's just best to find one that would suit the discussed purpose that we've been talking about, and your apparent need, because you may have many things that you may want to save, but the case is to try to find you a safe that would has the major im, in, important compartments that you can put your major important documentation in, and it's small enough that you can grab it and you can carry it with you. With your clothes or everything else that you might need in that. But the important thing here is acquiring one that's waterproof, fire resistant, and tamper resistant. Most portable safes are usually crafted with some kind of high heat intensity poly coating, like for the spacecraft or something. But one thing about that is it can be detailed with an etching tool. So therefore, you should put your family's names on it and or the last four digits of their social security card and number, and you can etch them up there with an etching tool, and you can do that right on the surface of one of the front or back doors of the safe, or top or bottom of the safe. And that's for just easy recognition and legible identification. Because if you have personal identification in there and you say your name is what it is, and and your last four is what it is, and they see it on that device, it'll ask you to open it, and it'll have information that you know is on the inside of it and pertains to you. So I'm quite sure that this information has helped you see the importance of readying your personal information and the valuables for portability. I could almost assure you that everyone has life-associated documentation that are highly relevant and necessary, and definitely in demand in times of uncontrollable stress and unfortunate circumstances. So I appreciated talking to you guys. I appreciate your attention, and thank you very much.